When you were younger, do you recall hearing from your parents that you could be anything you wanted to be, do whatever you wanted to do, and go anywhere you wanted to go? They did encourage you, which was wonderful, but their counsel wasn't fully sound. Sure, you can follow your ideal career and nothing could stop you from pursuing your greatest ambitions. But even while it may feel like there are no limits to the number of countries you can see throughout the globe, there are in fact only a finite number. Over 100,000 islands exist in the world, and the majority have been visited, but some continue to be a mystery to the majority of people outside. Some islands are so confidential, exclusive, or dangerous that only a select few people are allowed to visit. Many islands do not welcome visitors, despite the fact that some locals can see them from their homes. Others are privately owned, while some are uninviting. Even certain UNESCO World Heritage sites and Hawaiian Islands are off limits to the general public. In today's video, we'll discuss about mysterious islands that you should cross off your trip list. Number 1. The Ilha da Queimada Grande. Brazil's Ilha da Queimada Grande is an island that's located 93 miles off the coast of Sao Paulo, though most people only refer to it as Snake Island. According to studies, the island has between 1 and 5 snakes per square meter, making it impossible for humans to travel there. And there are little non-threatening snakes either. They belong to a special breed of pit viper known as the golden lancehead. 90% of snake bite fatalities in Brazil are caused by deadly lanceheads. As a result, only a few researchers are allowed to enter the island, and everyone else is prohibited by the Brazilian Navy. So unless you want to disobey Brazilian law, you have to stay away from the island. Number 2. The Bishop Rock. A skerry in the northern Atlantic Ocean of the British coast called the Bishop Rock is famous for its lighthouse. It's located in the westernmost region of the British archipelago of the Isles of Sicily, which is 28 miles southwest of the Cornish Peninsula. It's the smallest island with a building in the world, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. The first iron lighthouse was started in 1847, but it was washed away before it could be completed. The current structure was finished in 1858 and illuminated for the first time on September 1st of that year. Visitors to the lighthouse would rappel from the top of boats waiting outside the lighthouse before the helipad was built. The tower is a lighthouse that served as a landmark for the shipping route in the northern Atlantic. In 1992, the lighthouse was completely automated, and the island was abandoned. And although Bishop Rock may be navigated around by ships, don't expect to get inside the lighthouse. It's only visible from a distance. Number 3. The Macquarie Island. You'll never see a World Heritage Site like this. Between New Zealand and Antarctica, there is a UNESCO World Heritage Site called Macquarie Island. Despite being such a well-known island, not many people visit here. It is only seldom visible to tourists on tours of the New Zealand sub-Antarctica islands. But why is Macquarie so unique? Macquarie is not covered in snakes or sharks like other limited islands. Instead, it's full of penguins. The largest penguin breeding colonies are located in Macquarie, and the species there is protected. To protect the wildlife population, only 40 humans can reside on Macquarie Island at once. Number 4. We have the North Sentinel Island. North Sentinel Island is part of the Andaman Islands, a group of Indian islands in the Bay of Bengal that includes South Sentinel Island. It's home to the Sentinelese, a civilization that is mostly untouched by modern civilization. Many people have attempted to get to North Sentinel Island during the past 200 years. However, they have been expelled, often violently. You might not want to take a tour there because the Sentinelese do not permit visitors on their islands. The Sentinelese attack tourists with spears, knives, bows, and arrows when they see tourists arrive in boats and helicopters. Expert knowledge about this civilization is extremely limited. Not even their language is understandable to us. Number 5. The Little Halls Pond Cave. The majority of the Bahamas Islands are accessible to tourists, but one is not. Little Halls Pond Cave is not accessible to the general public. In contrast to other privately owned islands that have been transformed into tourist hotspots, on this small island there are no condos, hotels, restaurants, or resorts. Johnny Depp owns the exclusive island of Little Halls Pond Cave. The 45-acre island was purchased by the actor for $3.6 million in 2004. You can visit Little Halls, of course, but only if Johnny Depp invites you. Reporters have taken pictures from air of Little Halls, but they have not set foot on the exclusive island. I don't think I'd ever seen any area so pure and gorgeous, Depp told Vanity Fair in 2009. Sadly, not many other individuals will see it. Okay, before we continue, we'd like to ask for a few moments of your time. If you want to support us, please leave a like and click on the subscribe button. This will help us create more engaging content for you. Now moving back to where we left off. Continuing off with number 6, the shark-infested waters of Reunion Island. The French Department of Reunion, an island of great contrast, is unknown to most tourists from around the world. That's unfortunate. Simply put, the unusual island in the middle of the Indian Ocean is one of the most fascinating places on Earth. Reunion Island provides vacation options that range from restful to downright mad, with an active volcano on its south coast. 17 miles of warm, welcome beaches in the west and plenty of mountains and woods in between. Perhaps one of France's top surfing locations used to be on Reunion Island. at least before, but shark attacks increased dramatically in 2011. According to experts, the nearby marine reserve's expanding fish population attracted deadly sharks like tiger sharks. The French Surfing Federation decided to close the island in 2015 because the problem had gotten so terrible. Surfing and swimming are now prohibited on Reunion Island. The Cigatera program has been eliminating the populace in the interim. Although there has been opposition to this choice throughout the years, devastating shark attacks will keep people away. And for number 7, we have the North Brother Island. North Brother Island is visible from the East River by many New York City residents, but few have been there. An island in the East River called North Brother Island is a protected area. Outside access to the island is uncommon, and requests are only taken into consideration under certain circumstances. The island has a lengthy, gloomy past that includes stints as a smallpox quarantine, a veteran hospital, and a drug rehab facility. The island was bought by New York City in 2007, but nobody is allowed to go there without authorization. Additionally, North Brother Island serves as a bird sanctuary. Many bird species are protected there by the state. The 25 buildings there are still standing are extremely dangerous since they could collapse at any moment. So it's likely that they won't ever visit North Brother Island unless you're a researcher. Number 8, the Poveglia Island. Poveglia is a small island in the Venetian lagoon of northern Italy, halfway between Venice and Lido. The island is split into 2 district halves by a tiny canal. What exactly about this island is so mysterious? Well, let's just say it has a dark past. The island was colonized until its inhabitants fled from conflict in 1379, when it first appears in the historical records in 421. Poveglia kept sick people in a quarantine for ages. The Italians started transporting sick individuals to Poveglia starting in 1776. There was also a mental institution there later on, but it was closed in 1968. So, despite appearing on numerous paranormal shows, Poveglia is not open to tourists. There are still several historic structures there, including a bell tower from the 12th century, and the only way to view the island is through the photographs taken by the few photographers who are permitted entry. Number 9, the Niuaua Island. Over 10 million tourists visit the Hawaiian Islands each year, but one of the islands is off limits to tourists. The 7th largest and westernmost populous island in Hawaii is Niuaua, also spelled Niuaua in English. Accordingly, the Kalaluki Channel is located 17.5 miles southwest of Kauai. Since Elizabeth Sinclair purchased the Forbidden Island from King Kamehameha V in 1864, it's been in private hands. Residents continue to live in Niuaua despite the fact that it was privately owned. But when polio spread across the island in 1952, that all changed. Niuaua has a small population today, and even fewer individuals can travel there. The brothers Keith and Bruce Robinson are the island's current proprietors, and visitors are only permitted upon invitation. And last, but definitely least for today's video, is the Marshall Islands. Marshall Islands are located 5,000 miles from the coast of Los Angeles. One of the island chains, Eniwate Atoll, became inaccessible to tourists after World War II. There were 43 nuclear tests conducted by the U.S. between 1946 and 1958, so it's obvious to conclude that Eniwate Atoll is radioactive. Even now, it remains unsafe to travel to Eniwate Atoll. The islands were decontaminated by the U.S. between 1977 and 1980. Yet tourists are still deterred from visiting. A concrete space the size of a football field called the Dome is located on one of the islands. Runnet Island, there are 85,000 cubic meters of poisonous waste inside the dome. Thus, it's not a destination for vacationers. This list seems to be unending, since there's still a lot of islands we have yet to discover. Would you dare to set foot in one of these islands? Which one? Let us know in the comments below. If you want more content related to this topic or a part 2, make sure to check out our channel. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.